This week on Previews World Weekly, we look at our favorite geeky celebrity Halloween costumes. Deadpool goes to auction, and there's another trailer for Avatar for reasons. It's all happening right now on Previews World Weekly.
What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday, it's New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood, aka the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day. Halloween Comic Fest wrapped up, so now I don't really have much to say.
Actually, I guess we should talk about the wrap-up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how did it go?
It went pretty good. Jason won our Monster Mash bracket.
Okay.
Actually, we're picking our winner of the candy bracket today. I ended up a day behind.
That's okay.
It is what it is.
Yeah, anytime is a good time for candy.
Twix versus Smarties, which is not
competition.
Who's the winner?
Twix.
Smarties. Yo,
What?
I
Okay.
could wreck some Smarties. I was trick-or-treating at the DIG booth at Baltimore ComicCon because they had candy and they had Smarties. I ate
Smarties.
so many Smarties this weekend.
I like the tartness of Smarties, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just the Twix is always my M&M's, Twix, Snickers. I'm good.
Twix are comfort food. Like, that
Yes.
is just a comforting
It definitely
piece
is,
of
right.
candy.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's oddly hearty, too.
Yeah,
Which
because
is
it's got the
kinda
cookie in it.
Right.
Speaking of which, we have comments already coming in.
All right, what's going on,
Speaking
comments?
of-
Our good friend Ubaldo is saying, how's the leftover Halloween candy?
I didn't have much. I don't know about you.
I've been eating leftover Halloween
Yeah.
candy. We had peanut M&Ms.
Okay, yeah.
You know what was a bummer is like it rained, so we got less kids than usual.
Yeah, right. That kind of sucked. Like I was heading out the house and I was like, oh man, it's gonna come down.
Yeah.
And sure enough, not so much fun for everybody else. But I actually went to the Harry Potter Forbidden Forest experience.
Nice. How was that?
I know nothing about Harry Potter,
Okay, perfect.
so there's that to start off. But yeah, it was neat. It was cool, and it didn't rain the whole time we were walking through the forest, which was nice because apparently they don't close. Which is
Hey, that
kinda
would be
interesting.
a good atmosphere, really.
I mean, it is. No,
The aesthetic.
the whole thing was atmosphere and aesthetic. Like it was
Yeah.
actually pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. What did I do for Halloween? I watched The Fly on Sunday, and I hadn't seen that in a long time. It was actually re-impressed with the movie the second time I
Okay.
watched it. Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis, and yeah, then it was just the Harry Potter thing. Did you do anything on the 31st, or you just?
Not on the 31st, the Friday before, which was 28th maybe. I went up to Frightland, which is a haunted house in Delaware, and it's like 8 different haunted attractions.
Oh, cool.
One of them was a carnival and clowns, and I didn't do well. I did not do well. Also, I was like nervous laughing at the beginning, and I was like, oh, I hate clowns. And like one of the clowns heard me say that, and that was just,
That
they
was
were
it. They just
behind me the
zeroed in
whole
on you
time.
the
Yup.
whole time. Oh my God. That should be illegal. I feel
I
like that's not
hated
okay. I feel like that's not okay. Also, shout out to Nervous Laughter. That's a real thing.
It
I
is.
feel you on that one.
It really
I totally
is.
feel you on that.
A few more comments. He's also saying Happy Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead.
All right, Day of the
Yeah.
Dead. Right. Shout out to that.
You guys look awesome as avatars. Where's Johnny's avatar?
I know. Actually, Johnny, where's your avatar?
Where-
Why you got to subject us to the photoshops?
I'm sorry, because you're the host of the show. I'm just the mad genius behind here running the scene.
Mad genius. Also, shout out to Johnny's non-existent mustache.
Yeah,
It's
Johnny's
gone.
face is bald again.
It's gone.
I know. I
It's
have not
gone.
been this clean shaven in years, and it just looks weird and unnatural.
I was a fan of the mustache. I don't care if people were one of our Josh was calling it porn stash. So I liked it. I thought it was good. I'm a fan. Johnny.
I can see why he'd say that. Although.
Right. I like it, Johnny.
Jay Dudley is saying so much Halloween candy, I don't know what to do with it all.
Eat it.
Bring it to us.
Eat it all. Is that the Halloween candy in your avatar? Is that what that is? That looks like candy.
That was like cupcakes.
That was cupcakes. Okay.
And Annie Fox saying, hi, you guys.
What's up, Annie?
Hello, Jinx. All right.
Drink your me soda. My bun is crooked. I'm just now realizing.
It happens. My beard is always crooked. Every time I look at the damn show afterwards, I'm like, what is my beard doing? It's just trying to run away from my face. Let's talk about some Halloween costumes, right?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that is where we're going with this.
So it's kind of becoming an annual thing on Twitter specifically to comment on the celebrities' Halloween costumes, right? And it just so happens that a few of the costumes this year were, I feel like more and more so. Maybe this is a testament to how prevalent nerd culture is becoming. More and more every single year, I see more and more celebrities dressing like nerd adjacent things.
Absolutely, I agree as well.
And I don't think that was any different this year. So, and I wanted to maybe do the Joan Rivers thing, maybe. That's dating me a little bit.
That's awful. That's ugly.
That's great. The Joan Rivers
I'm gonna
thing.
sit here and rate everything out of 10.
Sorry, my mic is distracting me. I was doing something weird.
Because you put it in the wrong way.
Oh, whatever. So it was a whole conversation beforehand. So actually, let's do this. Let's look at some of these costumes. Of course, the Kardashians doing the utmost.
Always.
Always. Although I will give them credit. That's a nice hodgepodge of different types of X-Men characters.
That Mystique is fantastic.
I'm actually impressed with the magic, actually.
Yeah.
And I think that's supposed to be Celine on the right. Don't ask me which one's which. I just know one of them's Kim.
I think Mystique is Kim.
Yeah, Mystique is Kim.
Right. And
Chloe looks like Magic.
I don't think they're all the Kardashians though.
I was just sitting here thinking that I'm like,
present.
who? Because the one that's Celine could maybe be Megan Fox. But I know she went as like Pam Anderson and got everyone all upset.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. What else we got, Johnny? This is cool.
We have Javicia Leslie from Batwoman dressed as Storm.
That's insanely good.
That's very cool.
Looking amazing.
I'll give this an 8 out of 10.
Little fan casting potentially.
So
Trying to get
Paris
more work.
Hilton had apparently multiple costumes. So
Okay.
there was,
That checks out.
Sailor Moon. All right,
there was
cool.
her as Sailor Moon.
I'm gonna swear. I swear to you, I thought that was Ariana Grande.
I can see why you'd say that.
I totally thought that was.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10. She made it sexy Sailor Moon, which is fine.
I feel like all of these are going to be just sexy.
That's fine. You're
Right.
allowed to do that.
And
Yeah.
Except
Paris-
for one. One of them is traumatized.
Paris Hilton
Look at
also
that
did Captain
That is
Marvel.
excellent.
That's good. Yeah, that's actually cool.
That's
Actually,
a strong 9.32.
shout out to the Captain Marvel with the sash, which is something I actually wish they had done in the movie. What else we got, Johnny?
Janelle Monáe
This
as
is
the
impressive.
diva Pava Laguna from Fifth Element.
Yeah,
That
this
is a commitment.
thoroughly impressive.
She
yes.
committed to that.
She did, right. That is nuts. I actually wonder if they actually went out in public after this. Or was this just a photo shoot in my backyard and then I'm calling it a day?
Like, I wonder about carrying all that's attached to her head.
Yeah, right?
Like,
I mean, cosplayers do it all the time.
That's
You see
true.
that stuff all the time. I saw a few of those at Baltimore ComicCon. What else we got?
Alicia Keys dressed up as
Nice.
Beerus.
oh, sweet.
That's pretty good.
So there's,
I hadn't seen that one. That one's good.
That's pretty good.
yeah. And I think there was one more. Of course, Heidi Klum as a giant worm.
Hilarious.
This is not hilarious.
No, it's hilarious. There's an interview where she's like laying down on the ground.
Oh, really?
And she's like squirming around on the ground during the interview.
Is Heidi Klum okay? Like, I feel like she's getting progressively weirder and weirder.
Just coming off the rails.
Yeah, this is, you can't really,
Completely
I wish, is there like a
deranged.
closer look at this? Because this is actually kind of disturbing the closer you get to it.
There's also a picture of like later into her party, she took off the worm costume, but she didn't take the prosthetics off her face. So she's in this like glittery cat suit with like a worm face.
Oh my God, jeez. Yeah, that, I don't know, that triggered the lamprey tentacle monster phobia that I have. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I'm not a fan of anything that's like tentacle-like, I hate it. Like, when I get calamari, it needs to be fried to oblivion. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm very serious. Like, I don't like sea creatures. I think like 90% of them are gross and
Oh, I
weird.
forgot about the lamprey.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
lamprey,
I
right.
will be seeing that in my nightmares tonight.
Sorry, my bad. Did not mean to pass that on. But yeah, I don't know. Chat, let us know what you think of some of those costumes. I think that was, I mean, some of those were pretty impressive. I would say that we're all pretty impressive.
They were pretty
actually.
good, yeah.
Shout out to them. So, all right, let's get
Online, our good friend Annie Fox is saying that she was an inappropriate Tinkerbell.
Oh,
I like the quotes around inappropriate.
okay. It sounds like someone else called you inappropriate. Interesting. Okay, fair
And Stan Diamond is saying Heidi Klum wins 10 out of 10.
enough. Okay.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think you know how committed you have to be
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah.
Halloween to come up with just the most random, most bonkers costume. Like, what made you think I'm gonna dress as an earthworm?
No,
Why?
like, it's actually, it's interesting too because you always used to be the actors would put on the prosthetics.
Yeah.
Like for a movie, and they would complain about hours and hours and hours and stuff. She did this for like, I'm assuming not even a paycheck.
Right.
Right. So that is impressive.
Just for the clout.
Just for the class. So that is impressive. I'll give her that. But that is definitely nightmare territory. All right, let's get into what's at comic shops this week. So, Ashton and I have our picks this week, and then we're going to show you. Actually, we're not going to show you some new releases. We're going to talk about some new releases. Then we're going to talk about some gems of the month from the catalog. It's all very confusing, but it'll make sense in the end. Here we go. New release Wednesday. You want to go first? I go first? Who's going to go first?
I'll go first, but I also have to say that was a really good selling point. Like, this doesn't make any sense at all, but it might later.
Right, there you go. Right.
That instills a lot of
Stay
confidence.
tuned. This entire segment's like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Maybe it'll make sense in the end. Maybe it won't.
Probably
We'll
will not.
Probably will not.
We're 212 episodes in. Why start making sense now?
I mean, we haven't,
There you go.
We're consistent, if nothing else.
That's it.
Consistently inconsistent.
That's all we ask for.
My pick this week is Mother Christmas, which I'm hyped for. It's a Santa origin story.
Oh, hey.
Which wasn't something I realized even existed, or let alone something that I needed, but now it's a great idea. I love it. It makes perfect sense. It's set 1,800 years in the past, before Saint Nick was Santa, or Saint Nick, whatever you want to call him. He was just a priest that had a penchant for being really kind and really generous. And so one of the muses intervenes to make him kind of this god of generosity, if you will, as this creature that feeds on humankind's fear and chaos, kind of lurks towards civilization. So she makes him Saint Nick to fight or balance out the fear and the chaos, because what would do that better than kindness and generosity?
Right, yeah.
I'm not really sure where they're going to go with this, but I love the idea of it being Mother Christmas.
Yeah.
Because you always think of Saint Nick as, he's Father Christmas.
But
like the idea that he would come from a woman, or like a woman's idea, it's just a really interesting juxtaposition, and I'm all about it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I actually completely missed that. So, yeah, left field, but also cool.
Santa origin story.
Santa origin
Everybody
story.
else gets an origin story. Why not Santa?
Why not Santa? You know what? We were talking about this. There's a book that we might do for the pant. It's also a Santa origin story.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I know. You're like, I feel like you're just as bad as these grocery stores right now, and CVS and Walgreens we're doing Christmas already, Ashton? Is that what we're doing?
Do you know what? The cover caught my eye because of all the long hair, and I was like, what is up with this?
Yeah.
And then it is what it is. I wasn't trying to be that person. I don't want to be that guy. But it just was interesting.
I mean, it's if you're a Christmas book, you need to be in stores now. That's kind of how this works
true.
Anyway, so that's fine. My pick this week is the complete opposite of what Ashton picked.
Okay, perfect. I love that. Let's hear it.
Batman 129.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Batman.
Batman. Right. I know. I haven't picked a DC book in a while, but this will all make sense. I swear.
Is this Batman on the cover?
So that's Failsafe. So I've been a fan of Chip Zdarsky for a minute, right?
Oh, he did the Jughead series.
Yes, he did do the Jughead series. She's like, oh, good, okay. So Ashton's already on board. He started writing Batman this year, and he also did a miniseries before that called The Knight. And this is cool. Like, I just started reading this like about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And the story combines two of my favorite DC stories, which is already kind of like, okay, hook me in, right?
Sure.
Tower of Babel and the Batman of Zur-En-Arr, right? Which is actually a Grant Morrison story. It's a really wigged out Grant Morrison story, like most Grant Morrison stories. But it also invites one of my favorite takes on Batman, which is paranoid old man whose distrust bites him in the ass.
Yes, I'm with it. That checks out. Also, I feel like Batman's kind of paranoid regardless of his age. He's always kind of on his back foot.
It just reaches a different level the older he gets.
Okay, excellent.
Right?
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I'm with
Like,
it.
it's almost like the Batman, the movie, that's one level of it, right?
Okay, yeah.
But then the older he gets, the more unreasonable it gets. Like,
sure, true to life.
True to life, right, exactly. Okay, so those of you who don't remember, Tower of Babel, which you should definitely read, is Bruce Wayne basically created contingencies to defeat the Justice League. Like, he's like, just in case I'm human, right? Batman, right? He's like, just in case things get out of control, we've been mind controlled and all sorts of stuff. Like, I need a contingency to take down the entire Justice League, right?
Right.
And he figures it out. And then Ra's al Ghul gets a hold of those contingencies and takes down the Justice League.
Oh, that's no bueno.
And the awkward moment, of course, is afterwards when Batman's like, where the Justice League is like, how do you figure this out? And Batman's like,
guilty.
So it's just great drama. It's just great like superhero crap, right? You know. And this story follows up Bruce not learning that paranoia is not the way.
Interesting. Yeah, that's an important lesson.
Which is perfect, right? But yeah, it's fun. It's action-packed. It features the Bat family, so it's got all the more recent Bat characters and some of the older Bat characters, which is cool because I haven't been caught up on a lot of them. It's got the Justice League in it too, which is also fun, and just Batman not being invincible, which is also cool. Like he's up against the ropes most
Batman
of the story.
prep time.
Yeah, no Batman prep time. Right. Well, here's the thing: the thing that he created to take down the Justice League and then ultimately himself is him creating prep time for himself, and it kind of screws him over in like major ways. So that's actually I did a bad job explaining that, but that's Failsafe. The character on the cover is like this robot that he designed to take him down, take the Justice League down, and like his logic is that okay, I built something to take down the Justice League, but what if I need to be taken down? So, yes.
I love that it's called Failsafe. That's a great irony.
That's a great irony, right?
That.
Right. Yeah, the first time I've read a Batman ongoing since Grant Morrison. So, and I'm like about 4 or 5 issues in right now. So yeah, it's fun. It's just a lot of fun. It's a cool book, and also check out Purple Oblivion from Sumerian, formerly Behemoth Comics. That's out this week. I read the first issue months ago.
Right.
And it's just dark and wild. And I didn't think, it was actually ended in a way that when I read it a few months ago, I was like, oh, that's it. But no, there's actually 5 more issues after this. So I'm glad to see there's more of it because it was enticing, but also sort of like, that was really weird. I like that, so check that out. Purple Oblivion.
Couple more comments.
More comments. What's going on, comments?
We do have Abaldo checking in saying, yes, Batman 129. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, it's a fun book.
Hype.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of exclamation points.
And Stan is saying he put up all of his decorations yesterday and went out shopping for more today. It's Christmas.
What? That's crazy.
What?
That's
we have
crazy.
to do Thanksgiving first.
Right, we gotta get through Thanksgiving.
I need to eat my body weight in mashed potatoes.
It's just the mashed potatoes, really?
I love mashed potatoes.
I love me some mac and cheese. That's the
Mac
deal.
and cheese. I'm more about the sides than the turkey.
No, I get that. I 100% understand that. Like the side, just pile them on.
Oh, yeah.
I just need a little bit of turkey, maybe some ham. Not crazy about ham in general.
I do like ham. It's
So-
like brown sugar ham.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
Bomb.
come on.
Right.
All right. Anyway, let's do some gems of the month. So the previews catalog for November has officially hit comic shops last week. These are items that are arriving in January, so they're available to pre-order now. So here's a look at some of the gems of the month. And then when I say gems of the month, I mean specifically the premier publishers and deluxe tier publishers, right? That are featured in this month's catalog. So check this out.
Hey Previews World, Mia here, with a look at some of the gems of the month inside November's Previews catalog. Here's what's available to pre-order at comic shops now. And there are over 500 pages of eye candy inside the Previews catalog. So run to your local comic shop and pick up Previews. Or go to previewsworld.com/catalog to discover what's available to pre-order now.
All right, and that's everything. That's some of what's available to pre-order now at your local comic shop. And you, of course, can go to previewsworld.com/catalog to look at the entire catalog. And if you're signed up for Pullbox already, which you can also do through our website, previewsworld.com, you can order directly to your local comic shop and pre-order these items now. I wanted to point out, I saw the Darkwing Duck book, right? And I saw some news this past week. So Dynamite Comics seems to be doing a bunch of Disney titles, right?
Yeah.
But not the obvious things, not the goofy Donald Duck, none of that stuff, right? Like these are the things that, like, honestly, these are like the 90s things, truthfully. Like it's like Darkwing Duck and Gargoyles, right? And I just saw that Gargoyles sold a metric crapload of copies.
Really?
Right. People love them some Gargoyles. Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
I think it actually might be the highest selling book of October, I believe.
Stop.
Yeah, for us, for Diamond, I should say. So yeah. Gargoyles, but also
What?
Darkwing Duck so I wonder if Darkwing Duck will do the same. I wonder if that hunger for these characters, because these aren't like the other Disney characters. Like, like a lot of those other Disney characters get a lot of play. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
sure.
mean? These don't. So, and I remember loving Darkwing Duck when he used to come on the Disney afternoon. Like, that was like my favorite thing. That and Tailspin.
Oh man.
And what was the other thing? Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers was always kind of, whatever.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
kind of in the middle.
Kinda.
It was in the middle of the block, right? But yeah, I know I'm not alone. Also, Dune, House of Harkonnen, for you, Ashton, is one of the gems of the month. Boom's been knocking out these Dune books, these Dune comics.
They're all prequels.
They're all prequels. Okay, cool. And I need to flip through the catalog because I have been missing out lately, so I'll make sure I do that. But don't be like me, right? Go to previewsworld.com/catalog and just get a rundown of everything's available. Make a little checklist or pick up a catalog at your local comic shop because that's also an option to you as well.
Get in there with a Sharpie. Start
Just
circling things.
swirling that Sharpie around. Make it happen. And yeah, pre-order your items now because you don't want to miss out. Like I kind of screwed up last month and missed 2 months ago and missed a bunch of stuff. And then it came into the store. Yeah, it came into the store last month, and I was just sort of like, "When did this happen?" I was like, "Oh, I should have looked through the catalog. I got no excuse. I work here."
Right.
So there you go. Anyway,
I need to take my catalog home this month.
yes. I did that. I did that, and then I realized we didn't have a copy at Baltimore ComicCon, which we'll talk about later. And so
Yeah, I clocked that too. I was like, we're at a previews booth with no previews catalog.
Well, it's at the end of the day, I understand. Like, look, in all fairness, all those catalogs together in a box are heavy.
Also, like, okay, the people that are trying to enjoy their con were like, here, carry around this 600-page
Catalog, right,
phone
yeah,
book all
yeah.
day.
We need to bring back the redeemable code. Like that might be.
That's a
thing.
good- yeah, that's a
Give
good
people an
loophole.
option. Anyway, news. Let's get into some new stuff, right?
Okay.
So Ashton's going to give us a rundown, and we come back. We'll also talk about some of the stuff we saw in Baltimore. Let's go.
News time!
You guys didn't get Ashton's reaction. Ashton was like watching the screen. What? It was good.
That was so dramatic.
That was the best. I loved it. That was
I
a great
love
reaction.
a drama. I love a dramatic moment. I live for the drama. That got my neck, Johnny.
All right, Ashley, what is going on in the world of nerddom this week?
Deadpool is going to auction.
Yeah.
So Rob Liefeld's original concept art for New Mutants number 8, which is the issue that contains Deadpool's very, very first appearance in the Marvel Universe, is going to auction at Heritage Auctions. They'll sell, it's ultra rare, so it'll be New Mutants 98, which also, in addition to Deadpool, has the first appearance of Cable as well.
You're right, yeah.
And this comes straight from Liefeld's personal art collection. It's up right now. It'll be available until November 17th and 18th. Those are the closing dates. And according to Heritage Auctions, sketches are the first drawings of Deadpool ever made. Who wrote this sentence? I mean, I know it was me, but it doesn't make any sense now.
Words.
Okay, well, it's the first sketches that were ever made a part of Marvel Comics. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, okay.
That were the final character designs after the look was finalized. There's previous pieces of art before this where Liefeld was kind of playing around with what he wanted Deadpool to look like. But this is the first kind of sketch that's his final character design as he finally appears in the comics.
Okay.
Thank you for bearing with me there. So like I said, these are up for auction right now. It's 2 separate pages, page 14 from New Mutants number 98 and page 15. Page 14 is currently going for $26,000 and page 15 is going for $23,000.
Man, you know what? I definitely never owned an original piece like that, but I had New Mutants number 98.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what I did with it. I think it was like, I don't want this anymore. I gave it to somebody else.
Oh.
Right. Me. just almost, you know what? Almost as bad, but not as bad as me, like passing on Walking Dead number 1. That's another one that I just...
Like a first printing.
Like the first printing, like fresh out of the box. Like I just put it on the shelf and I was like, some zombie book came out this week. I don't know. It's black and white.
And the number of times you've had access to Kirkman at like San Diego Comic-Cons to have signed that.
Right, yeah. Jeez. Well, you know, I mean, that's the funny thing about getting stuff signed, right? Like, unless it's getting a certificate of authenticity, it's being defaced.
That's true. That's true.
You know, which is kind of the weird thing about it. Like, I mean, like, yeah, Robert Kirkman could sign it, and I'll know that. But if I ever want to flip it,
I wonder if you could get that like certified after the fact.
I think you can. Like, if there's a CGC place nearby, then they can certify it. I know they did that in New York at one point. Like people, there was someone signing. Was it Tom McFarlane? I think it was Tom McFarlane. He was signing something.
Yeah.
And they were on hand to slab the copies that people wanted so that they can certify that it was signed by him.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah,
Nice.
they do that sometimes. Anyway, what else we got in the news?
The Ringos. The Ringos were this weekend at Baltimore ComicCon. So they did kind of a whole slew of awards here. They did their main ballot, which was voted on by industry professionals. They also had fan-only favorites, and they did special awards to select individuals as well. So to hit some of the high points, James Tynion IV swept all the categories he was in, or that his work was nominated in. So he won Best Writer, Best Series for Something Is Killing the Children, and Best Single Issue for number 20 of Something Is Killing the Children. Eric Powell for Albatross Funny Books also swept his categories for Did You Hear Where Eddie Gein Done? What Eddie Gein Done?
That's
sorry.
a weird sentence. Like, I struggled with that too when I did the interview.
So he won for Best Original Graphic Novel, Best Nonfiction Comic Work, and Best Presentation and Design. Also, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Suki Alone won, which I care about, for Best Kids Comic. I guess I'm a kid. Jeff Lemire won for Best Cartoonist. And I also want to shout out Steve Geppi, who is kind of the owner of our mothership. He was awarded the Hero Initiative Lifetime Achievement Award.
Okay, nice.
Sorry,
go ahead.
You can see the full list. I just hit some of the high points, but if you want to see the full list of winners, it's online at Ringo Awards website.
Yeah, no, I saw that Felipe Andrade's up there too. Like he did that Lily Star book, the Many Lives, Life and Times of Lily Star.
Yeah.
So yeah, good, because like he definitely deserved it. That book is gorgeous.
You picked that at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, I picked the trade. I picked the trade on the shelf. Definitely worth reading. Also, Something's Killing the Children. Got to point that out because we just did an episode of The Panel, which is like our monthly book club show. New season started on October 31st for Halloween, and Anna Mia got to chill out and hang out with Roz and Harley of Boom's sales team as they talked about, also with Cannon Doll X, I should point out.
Yeah, true.
To talk about Something Is Killing the Children, which has been a book I've heard so much about.
Same.
And so, like it's one of those breakout hits. You really, I always kind of gauge the actual success of something. Like something can be hot for like a week, right?
Yeah.
And disappear. But when people keep talking about it, that's actually, to me, that's actually like a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's what Something Is Killing the Children is. So congratulations, Tynan. Clearly the people's choice. And also a Ringo Award winner on top of that. So
that book has been popular for years too.
Yeah. And it's got a spin-off coming, and then it's got a one-shot coming on top of that. So yeah, keep it coming. Let's talk about Baltimore ComicCon.
Yes, let's do it.
You met a legit favorite.
I did.
You want to talk about this?
I did. So Dan Parent was there, who is like a beloved Archie artist. He's done a lot of work on Archie. A few weeks back, I picked the Archie Halloween special that had the first appearance of their new little mascots, Trick and Treat. So he was selling that there. He had it at his booth, which I acquired and had him sign. And fangirled. I was so nervous. Like we've talked to him before. He's been on the show, but I was weirdly nervous, like talking to him, and I almost forgot to ask for a picture. Not almost, I did. If it wasn't for my boyfriend, like you guys should get a picture, I would have like walked away with no proof that had even happened. I was genuinely fangirling.
Okay, no, it's good. It's awesome. No, I like, and you have interviewed him before. Yeah, we had him on the show one time, or on a show one time. Actually, I got to. We were both at the booth on Saturday, and then you were at the booth on Friday.
Yes.
At the Diamond Previews World booth, and so we were giving away a raffle. We were giving away free items with like the spin the wheel contest and whatnot. Yeah. But I also got to do some interviews that I will definitely tease right now. I got to talk to Frank Miller for like an hour.
That's crazy.
With Dan Didio. I also got to talk to Liam Sharp for like probably an hour and a half. Like he was talking about his time at 2000 AD, his time at Marvel, like having to leave Marvel and leave comics, coming back at DC, working with Grant Morrison on Green Lantern, his new book Starhenge. And I got to talk to Ann Nocenti, who basically just regaled us with stories about Marvel in the 80s.
That's awesome.
It was absolutely perfect. It was exactly what I was asking for. And you guys will definitely get a glimpse of that in the very near future because we're definitely going to be rolling those out as the months roll forward. I also want to point out, Johnny, are we showing, I just gave you the cosplay, right? We're doing those, right? Okay, cool. Just cool cosplay I saw.
There was a lot of good cosplay.
There was some really good cosplay at this. I love Beast Boy in the background going like, what the hell's happening here? But like, clearly some fantasy and sci-fi favorites, anime, of course, on top of science fiction.
A lot of anime. I saw a lot of anime.
The character on the left, is that Star Wars? That's not Star Wars. That might be Battlestar Galactica or
That does
something.
not look like Star Wars.
That's not Star Wars, I don't think.
Not Darth Revan, is it?
Is it?
You might be right.
We're bad Star Wars fans.
Bad Star Wars fans.
F's all around.
F's all around. We failed, but yeah, just some cool cosplay at Baltimore ComicCon. And I was like, you know what? I did do BlurredCon back in July,
Yeah.
but I was behind the table. I was working most of the time, and I was there for like
Right.
a day. But I kind of felt like this was actually me returning to cons for the first time
It was definitely my first con back.
after like 2 years of like,
Same.
or almost 3 years really of nothing. And yeah, it was actually probably the best way to get reintroduced to this.
Agreed, yeah.
I kind of feel like it was very breezy, very familiar. It's in our own backyard.
Exactly.
You know, and everybody just seems very happy to be there.
Yeah, I kind of got the same impression that for a lot of people it was their first show or one of their first shows back. So everyone was just like
Yeah.
happy to be there. Nobody had a real agenda. Everyone was just like enjoying being back in the atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was just a lot of fun. And you know, we had the easy job because we're giving away free stuff, so everybody was just really nice to us, of
So
course,
much
right?
fun. Yeah. Everyone was very nice to us.
But yeah, and also it was the weekend of Halloween, so that also made it perfect too. Yeah. So shout out to Baltimore ComicCon. I got to talk to the Cartoons Kayfabe guys about horror movies too, which was also nice.
Oh yeah, they were there. I saw their booth.
Yeah,
I
Ed
walked
Pisker and
past
Jim
them.
Rugg. Yeah, that was also pretty nice. So, yeah, Baltimore ComicCon.
Oh, there was a Crash Bandicoot. There was a girl dressed as Crash
really?
Bandicoot carrying around a massive like Aku Aku mask. And when I say massive, I mean like that thing was like 6 feet tall. Like
Oh, wow.
it was like the size of her.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And Josh had like found it, and I was, I don't know, somewhere, and we were like running through the exhibit hall trying to like chase this poor woman down.
Well, just to get a picture? Or,
Yeah,
okay.
because I love Crash Bandicoot.
You know, Crash is one of those characters that like, who owns that now? It's like I don't know who owns that. Like he was a Sony mascot. Like he was a mascot for PlayStation for a while. I guess
Right.
I guess they lost the rights to him or something like that because somebody else might have owned them. But yeah, it's one of those characters that needs to make a comeback. I kind of feel.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, they make a million Marios. They can do that, right? That's cool.
And Sonic.
And Sonic, right? No shade to either one of those. But still,
Right,
you know.
yeah.
All right. Typically, this is the point where we.
Well, don't forget about who Natasha talked to at Baltimore
Oh
Con.
yeah, absolutely. I forgot. Natasha got FaceTime with John Leguizamo, and she was super excited about that, right?
She was. I actually watched her do this interview.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this was definitely for her channel. Go ahead and follow her on YouTube, Cannon Doll X, over on YouTube and Twitch, I believe, as well. Because yeah, she's been doing interviews at conventions, especially the local ones. She's been kind of getting some FaceTime with the people here and just showing you around the convention floor, talking to the vendors, et cetera, et cetera. It's really cool. I actually really appreciate that she's doing that. And also, John Leguizamo actually has a book called Phenom X from Image Comics. It's available right now, so definitely also check that out. All right, trailer time, right? Although technically this is not a trailer.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about the Avatar here?
Oh yeah, Avatar. You know,
wow.
we gotta.
We're professional.
We're jumping ahead here. Sorry.
What's the point of even doing these outlines?
You know, that's fair. Okay, wait. Okay, all right. Well, we'll talk about it now. All right, cool. I thought we were going to do it actually after the trailer, but that's fine.
I'm just along for the ride.
Just in terms of the show.
Just,
Okay.
I'm just here, giving input when necessary.
Today, right? Today, the Avatar 2 trailer showed up on online,
It
right?
arrived.
And I don't know. I gotta ask.
That sigh.
Yeah. I mean, like, objectively, there's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, there's absolutely no debating that it's visually stunning.
Right.
Like, it looks incredible.
It's pretty.
Beautiful.
It's real pretty. Like, I mean, I get it. I understand. I just don't know. I don't know. I just feel like it's been a long time, and I know for America, I don't know if they're necessarily all that into this. I anticipate this not doing good in the U.S.
It was like super popular in China, was it
It's
not?
super popular in Asia,
Yeah.
and in India too, specifically, I should say. But yeah, it looks pretty. It's cool. I don't know. I'm having this problem also with Marvel stuff right now, right? Where I'm like, at what point is it? And I don't mean to say just to be dismissive, but at what point is it just a cartoon? You know what I mean?
That's valid. I mean, where's the line between like CGI is enhancing it and the movie is CGI?
It's like just a CGI movie, right?
Right.
And I mean, I know that maybe that's what Cameron's going for, is to blur that line.
Okay, sure,
But-
I'm with that.
And I mean,
behind it.
look, he finds ways to dodge the uncanny valley more than anybody. I
Right.
think he does it way better than a lot of people. But I just, I have these moments where I'm like, okay, what's the difference between this and a Pixar movie? And I don't know. I find myself a little less excited for it. Like I also did not really care for the first Avatar. I was one of the haters.
I loved the first Avatar.
Yeah.
I was incredibly impressed by it. I think my concern with this, or my confusion with the second one, is like, they did the teaser. I watched the teaser trailer, and I watched this trailer, and I have definitely seen the first one, albeit it's been quite some time. But so with doing no other research other than watching the materials that have been provided to me as trailers, I have no clue what this movie's about.
Yeah, I guess.
What is the plot? Who are we fighting? Are we still are we beefing with humans?
Yeah, right.
And at what point are you rerunning the same plot, right?
Right, yeah. Which, the original was kind of a repetitive plot anyway, like in a lot of ways. You've heard people say like, oh, it's Fern Gully, oh, it's Last of the Mohicans,
sure. Which is fine, and I think it's an interesting take to apply other ideas of to apply ideas of like being alien or being a foreigner in your own land,
right.
or all of those things. And I think those are interesting themes. But I'm worried it's just a rehash.
Potentially. All I know, I'm sure there's been more said about this online. My interest levels are really low for this.
Right.
But all I know is that it's basically going to be very, as you saw in the trailer, very focused on the water, the oceans of Pandora.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So that's going to be the next level for this, and I know people are into it. We'll see.
Different strokes for different folks.
Different strokes for different folks. Johnny, do you have a take on this at all?
I don't know if you really want to hear mine.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Is it spicy?
It's not really spicy. It's just more of the same stuff. It's just like I've never had that big of an appeal towards the film. I did see it in the theaters, and I will say that this is one of the films where if you're going to see it, you really have to see it in live, like in a big movie theater. Because the way that they did the 3D in the first one was beyond anything I'd seen anything done with 3D up to that point. So that was amazing. But for me, I guess the whole Avatar thing, it's Fern Gully to me. So I can't get over that. But it's Fern Gully in Star Wars. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually, when I saw it in the theaters, we had a big blizzard here in Maryland, and I saw it in theaters, so I only was able to see the non-3D version.
The 3D was super cool.
And that's what I hear people say. So that might have also peppered the experience. But I'm also kind of if I have to watch it in 3D, to actually appreciate it, then maybe it's not that great in the first place. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
And I just say that because I've had the same thing with the Desolation of Smaug, The Hobbit, the first the Hobbit movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I had all my friends oh, the movie's so amazing, and I kind of started making this rule where I was like, I'll just go see it in non-3D because I don't know, after a while I can't even see the 3D anymore. It's really weird.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just me, right? After a while I don't even notice it anymore, and so I just went to go see it. And I was like, this movie was not that great.
To be fair, I didn't see any of the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, the second one's cool. The second one's very cool. Maybe it's not the Desolation of Smaug. Whatever the first Hobbit was, that was the one where I went to theater on my friends' recommendations, and it was like, it was okay, I guess.
Man, recommendations are weird. I was thinking about this recently. Somebody will recommend something to you, and they'll be over the moon about it, incredibly hyped, and they're like, you need to see this. And then you go and you see it, and you're like, meh. And it's just so weird. What is it that for one person it's this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, and for somebody else you're like, this was mediocre at best.
Well, that's why I'm always cautious about overselling stuff now.
Yeah.
I just never want to oversell it. I'm just sort of I liked it. It was good, and I just kind of try to keep it moving.
Man, I get excited about things.
You know what? I understand. I appreciate that too. Sometimes the other person's enjoyment makes me go hey, you know what? Same thing. Actually, just had with Black Adam. Where it's just sort of oh, you know what? People are really kind of into this. Maybe I should go see this, So, all right. Let's get into trailers.
Man, we've been trying to do this trailer. This is the third time.
3 times now. All right.
We're all clear now.
We're all clear.
Okay, good.
All right.
Great. Good.
Hakes 236 is going on right now. It closes on November 15th and 16th. Here's a look at what's available, and when we come back, we'll get into some asinine arguments.
Hakes Auctions is the premier source for all manner of Americana and collectibles, and auction number 236 is now open for bidding. Here are some of the amazing items that you can find over at Hakes.com. Be sure to check out the full auction by visiting Hakes.com. Closing dates for items in auction 236 are November 15th and 16th. Hakes, America's first collectibles auction house.
And as the video pointed out, that was Johnny's voice, by the way. The auction ends November 15th through the 16th. They got video games this time, which I think is kind of interesting. Like you saw that PS4 in there. This is a new phenomenon. Like the game stuff, right? It's something that has been fairly new, kind of controversial actually in the last 2 years. I think that it's controversial because one specific example was that Nintendo had a Super Mario game, I can't remember which one it was, on their digital store for a very long time. And then we started doing this grading thing, right, with video games, and they pulled it from the website, which I thought was pretty interesting. Yeah, and some people were like, well, wait a minute, this thing cost $20 like 3 months ago.
Right.
And now you can only get it if you pay out the nose for it, you know? So it's a little interesting.
If you had a digital download of it, are they like wiping digital downloads?
I think they also wipe the digital downloads too. Yeah. See, that is what I would be more mad about.
Yeah.
Like the auction thing, I'm like, look, used games, that's been a thing for a while now. There's nothing new about that.
Right.
The grading aspect of just where the newness of it comes into play.
Yeah.
But just taking taking stuff out of my library, not cool.
No. Also, I want my money back.
Right, exactly. I'm like, that's not cool. I don't like that. I actually hate when iTunes has done that before and a couple other places. I don't like that at all.
But you know what we do like?
Comments.
Hakes.com.
Oh, we do like Hakes.com.
I mean, we also like comments.
Hakes.com. Thank you very much, Johnny, for reminding us. Yeah, go on to Hakes.com, closing November 15th and 16th. Comics, video games, political memorabilia, toys, like everything. You saw the Yoda in there. You saw the Han Solo in there. You saw all this cool stuff.
How big was that Yoda? Because I couldn't tell if he
It
was
looked
like
massive.
Right. I couldn't tell if he was like going to be like a foot tall or like.
Right. It looked like Frank Oz actually used that Yoda. Like that was actually pretty interesting.
No, the amazing thing about this is, I mean, like you have a lot of amazing like video games, like from our youth, but they have a Beatles 1966 Candlestick Park final concert ticket.
What?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Interesting.
Their faces.
No, I mean, that's part of the deal with Hakes. It's all pop culture memorabilia, so it's not just limited to the very geeky things, but all aspects of popular culture, which is also cool. Also, that Amazing Spider-Man #1, thoroughly impressive. Like that is, definitely too rich for my blood, but it's also kind of like, ooh, wow, it's a #1. What we got in the comment section, Johnny?
Comments? All right, let's see what our friends are saying online. Baldo is also excited about Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck, all right.
A lot of hype.
Yeah.
And he's also excited for the interviews that you did, Troy,
you,
so he's
Baldo.
looking forward to those.
Keep an eye on that.
Troy did the cutest like happy dance when he came back to the booth to tell us that Frank Miller showed up for that interview.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you were like.
I don't remember that. It's so funny. It's probably true, though. I mean, that sounds about right.
Stan is saying that the armor that you took a picture of from Baltimore ComicCon is Star Killers. You might recognize the armor from the recent cameo in Andor.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I missed that. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. Yeah. Ilya's saying that John Leguizamo's security was cool.
Okay. That's as close as you got?
He did. Oh, yeah, he did bring his own security, and they were all like,
back up, man.
serious face. Like.
Right. It's probably his cousins from like Brooklyn or something like that. That's usually how those things
And
work.
Annie's saying the Hobbit movies were not good, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. I was very disappointed in those. The second one was cool. I thought the second one was actually really cool.
I'll take your word for it.
and then-
Because those are all like 3 hours long.
They are, and that's also true, right? But yeah, I thought the second one was cool, but then the third one was just kind of more of the same, and the first one was definitely more of the same. So, let's get into some. I was going to ask something. I forgot what it was. I was going to go off script for a second. I kind of forgot what it was. We've been going off script a lot this episode.
I was actually sitting here thinking that. I was like, man, this one is a train wreck. Johnny's like, do you know what else we like? Comments. No, Hakes.com.
It's all right. You know, let's get into Axonite Arguments, and I'm sure it'll spark up something. So let's do it. Axonite Arguments, Tom.
Rolling out a shot
right.
again. Do you know what? When I picked this week's Axonite Arguments, I kind of panic picked it. I was like, what are two of the most ridiculous things that have no business being together, and how can I force them to be together?
Okay.
So naturally, I came up with Hungry Hungry Hippos and the Hulk.
Okay. All right.
So the question this week is, if Hulk was competing in a game of Hungry Hungry Hippos, would he smash the competition or just literally smash the game?
I mean, I think this is pretty cut and dry. He's going to smash the game.
No.
No? Why
No,
not?
he would smash the competition. Look, part of the rule of Hungry Hungry Hippos is the harder you hit the thing, the quicker you hit it, the more marbles you get.
Yeah.
And so when you go into like a rage-induced blackout when you're playing Hungry Hungry Hippos, you absolutely are going to win.
You just wake up and you're like, oh, what?
You're like, oh shit, I won. So I definitely 100% think he would smash the competition.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, you know what? I will say that the idea of the Hulk using those tiny levers on
With
Hungry
his
Hippos with giant
hands.
hands is just kind of hilarious. Johnny, do you want to throw in anything on this one?
Yeah, I'll come in on this one.
What's up?
So, are we talking about a regular-sized version of Hungry Hungry Hippos or a giant-sized Hulk version? Because, like Troy's saying, big giant hands, tiny little levers.
Okay, so here's the question.
He's going to, and also, are we talking about Smart Hulk or Stupid Hulk? Because Stupid Hulk, or just
Stupid Hulk,
for lack of a better way of putting it,
You're right.
is not going to have the dexterity or the patience to be able to start going those little flippers.
Okay, so if he's playing big Hungry Hungry Hippos to accommodate his size, who is his competition? I think that's an important question.
Oh, well, that's also a good point. I would say, let's say it's Juggernaut and, I don't know, Colossus. Let's keep it
one more.
Thanos and Apocalypse.
Thanos and Apocalypse.
It's a 4-player game.
Oh, we need one more.
Kool-Aid Man.
Thanos. Thanos, sure.
Thanos,
Thanos
okay.
is not actually that big. Like, he's larger than humans, but not like that big. Like
He's
Hulk's,
got big hands.
He does. I'm gonna say Doomsday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Johnny, now we have a big Hungry Hungry Hippos board with 3 equally sized Hungry Hungry Hippos
With
opponents.
adamantium levers.
Yeah. So now. Also, I feel like if Hulk didn't get the green hippo, he would have a freak out.
Yeah, that's fair. So what are you saying, John? You still say that question is enough for you?
I'm gonna say smash. I'm still gonna say smash the game.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say smash the game. I'm gonna side with Johnny on this. Let's see what everybody's saying.
Damn. It's a blowout. Do you know what else I thought about when I was doing this? I thought about the Hulk and Twister. I feel like he would have a meltdown.
Oh, geez. Okay, yeah. I don't know why my brain couldn't think of Twister right now, but yeah, okay, that's fair. Like, Twister and Mr. Fantastic, or Elastic, or Plastic Man, or Elastigirl. That'd be cool.
Who would win in that?
Just food for thought. Just throwing that out
Wow.
there. All right. What is this week's comic shop shout out?
This week's comic shop shout out goes to Subspace Comics in Linwood, Washington. Johnny, do you have the post so we can
Looking for it right now. Hold on.
give the person their kudos? Okay, never mind. All right, sweet. Well, it goes to Subspace Comics in Linwood, Washington from some fan who loves their comic shop.
His name was Phil. I do remember that.
Thank you, Phil. Shout out, Phil. We'll show you some images inside of Subspace Comics at the end of the show so you can check out their shop. If you want us to shout out your local comic book shop on the show, find us on social media, tag your shop. If they don't have a handle, just leave their name, and use the hashtag #SupportYourLCS. We'll find your local comic book shop, shout them out on the show, and give them some love.
All right, and here is a reminder: head over to previews.com. Plenty of plenty of cool stuff.
Food, plenty of food.
Plenty of food.
Plenty of food.
Pretty cool stuff that we throw up there on a daily basis over at previews.com. First off, I want to point out that there is an interesting series of interviews I'm going to be doing with AWA. And I also do a series of interviews called Get Graphic, where I talk to artists about their process, right? And then they show us like their process as well. So like they give us like character thumbnails that they worked on for a book, the sketch covers. You saw the Deadpool sketch that we did threw up on the screen earlier. A lot of stuff like that. We're really delving into how they make a page and how they make comics. And so it just so happens that Goran Suzuka, whose name I'm saying correctly,
Sounds like it.
Who's the artist behind A Walk Through Hell, and Marjorie Finnegan over at AWA is doing a zombie book called Year Zero. And this is, of course, a prequel to AWA's Year Zero books, which were already released the last 2 years. But he kind of gives us a dive into, creating this comic. And as you can imagine, drawing zombies is a lot of fun. So he definitely gets into that, but he also talks about the cast of characters he's created. And so you get a nice little idea of the process and what it takes to make a comic book. Also, Start Here, which is something that we haven't talked about a lot on the show, but I want to definitely shout it out. It's something we do every single week. Looking for new comics, don't know what to pick up. Start Here is literally here for that. That's the reason it exists. So Start Here is basically any new number ones or new series hitting stores. Start Here kind of gives you a rundown of all those titles that are new and in comic shops, not in issue 129 or 234, the very first issue. And sometimes it's one shot, sometimes it's a new series, but they're all good jumping on points for lack of a better term. And also because of this, I didn't know that The Ones is actually out this week, which is the Brian Michael Bendis.
We talked about that.
Yeah, the Brian Michael Bendis story about the chosen ones who turned out to not to be the chosen ones, so they go to kill the real chosen one.
Such a great idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that until Monday, and I was like, oh man, I actually do want to read this. So that's another reading recommendation for you. But you would have known about that, like me, if you had already looked at Start Here. So check it out every Monday on Previous World's website. And
I have a question before we go.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, Batman.
Oh yeah, right.
So you said the whole Bat family is involved. Is the kid? Is it the kid? Is that kid's name Damien? Bat's son.
So apparently, you know what?
I read approximately. So my reason for asking this is I've read approximately 2 issues of Super Sons, and it is easily one of the most chaotic books I've ever read. Those two, John Kent and I think it's Damien Wayne, hot mess together.
Oh yeah, it's perfect because Damien is a fussy, angry little adult.
Yeah.
No, it's just one of the joys of that series.
And
absolutely.
John Kent is just unhinged the entire time, just absolutely deranged.
Actually, I think that they killed off Damien.
Oh God!
I feel like they did.
Jeez.
Actually, it didn't even occur to me until you said something right now. But Damien's not in this run.
No Bat-Kid.
No. So there's Robin. There's the other Robins. I think Tim Drake is part of the mix or something like that. But Damien's not around, and I just thought about that. And I think if I remember correctly, they did kill him off at some point in time.
That is unfortunate.
Which is a shame because he actually ended up being my favorite Robin.
Really?
He was, because he was just such a dick. He was. I'm sorry. There's no other way to put it. That's how he was. The way that they introduced him was so perfect, and he just kind of was always trying to school Batman on his war crime. And there's this. Just to throw this out here real quick, there's a great issue that is this introductory story arc where Batman's trying to be okay, well, I got to train you. He's like, I've been trained by ninjas. You can't teach me anything. And he's like, well, we're gonna go on patrol. And he's like, go on patrol? He's like, why don't you go just do this instead or whatever? And he's like, you know what? Just stay here in the cave and don't do anything, all right? Which of course, as soon as Batman walks out, Damien's just jumps into whatever he can and goes to Gotham. And the end of the issue has this great bit where Batman's been trying to find this criminal. He gets back to the Batcave, he can't find the criminal. And Damien shows up and he's all about your war on crime. He's like, about fighting crime. I fought crime and I won. And he holds up the head of the guy Batman was looking for. It is so great. It's just such a great introduction of that character. It's so perfect. But yeah, it sucks. I think they did kill him off.
Oh man.
I don't know in what, but I'm pretty certain they killed him off in something. So, womp womp. But I mean, you know, the nature of the DC universe is like, you know,
He'll
you
be
go
back.
backwards, forwards, upside down. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like there's always room for these characters somewhere else.
We have a couple of farewell comments.
Hey, what's up? Farewells.
Annie was saying about the Hulk, he would break the controller right off the bat.
Right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay.
She's saying, bye, friends.
Bye.
And Ubaldo is also saying, see you guys next week. Time to go and pick up my comics.
Nice.
I like that. Good. Yeah, I guess that's it for Previews World Weekly. Thanks for that addition. That's pretty good.
You're welcome.
I've been one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen,
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood.
and we'll see all of you at the Spinner Rack. Enjoy your new comic book day.
Be sure to follow Previews World on all of our social media platforms to stay up to date on new comic releases, toys and collectibles, articles, and much more. Set foot on Previews World.